What's up, Facebook? How is everybody doing? We are back. I know this is a very special broadcast for one because I have the great, the amazing Chief Mondana. Man, it's been forever since I've had you on my broadcast.
And a day.
I know, and I know the people in the ARC group, they see you a lot, but everybody else, we don't have a chance to really get Chief Montana. So this is perfect. I'm glad that he's here because I figure that there's no better person to have talk about this topic than him, you know. It's important for us to have the right people talking to us about this, and we're at war right now, and we can't leave. We can't have our protectors. We can't even fight if we dead. I feel like we doing too much as a society, as a culture. We're trying to fight white supremacy, but we trying to fight obesity, high blood pressure, all of this stuff. So Chief, I know we're going to focus on men's health today, but I wanted to ask you a couple of questions because I feel like you have a lot of good habits. And what are some of the things that you off the top want to share with black men? What have you been seeing? Because I've been seeing some BS. I always roast my sisters. You know, I get on y'all about the weight and the fibroids and the womb health. But now, brothers, if you're listening, it's your turn to come to Jesus, okay? It's because y'all need some help out here. What are you seeing, and what can you share? Because we've got a lot of things to cover. We got wellness and consciousness going hand in hand, and they leading sick.
Well, one of the things that I've seen that brothers can't really rely upon anymore because of the food context that we live in, which is all bad food, really, is I can work this off in 2 weeks. And relying upon what we could do when we were 16, take 2 weeks, run, exercise, and your body's back right, and apply that to even nowadays when you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s. Because the food that we eat does not allow our bodies to actually react in the way that they reacted when we were younger. Now younger is like in your teens. You know, when I was in my 20s and 30s, it was easy to like bounce right back really quick. Even in my 40s, it was easy to really bounce back really quick. But now I see men, it's taking something. It's taking a lot more because we have taken our health for granted.
I see that.
Because a lot of us grow up as athletes of being athletic for the most part. And then when we're not athletic, our minds say that, we can just go right back out and get back in shape like really quick. And it takes something now.
It does.
Because of the health and because of the state of food. Physically.
And I see when it comes to reversing disease, we can't get around that. Okay, so I want to ask you, we see people, you see uncles and you see young black men that deal with these health crises, but for everybody across the board, regardless of the age group, what are some of the things that you would suggest if somebody had a real crisis and they had surgery, they got so much going on, high blood pressure, what would you suggest to reset their bodies immediately? Because we're going to go through a couple of products that I have, some keys to detoxification that we have laid out in the book, but I want him to kind of talk about a couple of things that he would do as a man that he's seen work as it relates to these serious issues that men face. Erectile dysfunction is one of them. A lot of different things around male reproductive health. So what did you have to offer around it? What could you tell them if they need to turn it around immediately?
Immediately is to alkaline your body before you do anything. And just because you go and buy alkaline water, that doesn't mean it's good alkaline water.
Right.
It could be like faucet water that somebody added pH, increased the pH level to. It's still bad water because it's still contaminated with whatever else is in there. It doesn't get rid of that. So that's number one. Number two, do a thorough detox. Clean out your colon. It's so important to clean out your colon. Matter of fact, I just glimpsed over there and I see that you have psyllium husk, and actually this is a product that I use personally.
I love psyllium husk too.
Psyllium husk is basically a bulk fiber, so it gets into your system, it gets into your colon, and it just bulks up. And it basically sweeps the lining of your colon and gets out all of that dead, old fecal matter that's been there since, since 13 years old, something like that. And so it gets all of that stuff out. So that's where I would start first, because you can try other methods. You can use herbal remedies. You can do those things, but that's like putting lipstick on a pig. Yeah, it's still a pig at the end of the day.
And you know what I tell people? It's like trying to put a nice outfit on a body that ain't been washed in 20, 30 years. Right. Yeah. You're going to be stinking like hell, but you got on a fresh outfit. I want to read something really quick that's in my book, An Intro to Breaking Soul Ties and Wound Cleansing. In the back, in Dr. Levert's excerpt, this is in chapter 5, The Keys to Good Health. Dr. Levert, old black naturopath, and I want to read what he has about signs of self-poisoning. Okay, we're talking about a toxic colon and what happens. So it says, if you experience any of the following symptoms, you may be experiencing auto-intoxication, a process whereby you are poisoned by substances produced by your own body as a result of inadequate digestion and elimination. And therefore, you might want to consider a systematic detoxification cleansing program. When you don't cleanse and detoxify your body periodically, you circulate poisons and toxins throughout the body over and over again. So here are some of the symptoms. You have allergy or intolerance to certain foods, and that includes allergies too. People that got allergies all the time, you're probably unclean. Bad breath, foul-smelling gas and stools, constipation, diarrhea, sluggish elimination, irregular bowel movements, frequent congestion, colds, viruses, gas, frequent headaches for no apparent reason, general aches and pains that migrate from one place to the other, intolerance to fatty foods, low energy. It's a lot of y'all don't have a lot of energy, lethargic as hell. Talking about chronic fatigue. They have lower back pain, the lower resistance to infections. They need to sleep a long time. The PMS, the vaginal infections, skin problems, rashes, boils, pimples, acne. So all of those things is all because of that standard American diet that he talks about too. And back to what he was saying, if you can talk about these herbs, that's great, but you can't put them in your body if it's unclean. It's not even going to be absorbed. Correct. Okay. What were some of the other things? You were going down a list because I needed to stop for a moment and just piggyback off that elimination of the colon, because it starts there. That is the key to good health. I don't care what you're doing. You could be running, you could be at the gym, and they still got unclean colons. You're not losing no weight. You're still on medication. You know, you're still kind of sluggish. So, what were the other points? Because I don't want to throw you off what you were saying.
So for men, like even if so let's back up. So that's the first thing you do. Yeah. And so once you've done that, I always look at what can I do that's natural. What can I do that is natural, meaning that it's untainted. Basically, it comes directly from nature. And so I always look there. I always start there before I even do anything else. So I try to do my best to get the purest products that I can find. And I know that, in this day and age, even men in their 20s are suffering from ED, erectile dysfunction. Yeah. And what we don't know. That's real. Let me pull out the magic ball. Get the magic ball. Oh, hold it up to the camera so they can see. So this is actually the Ghanaian version. I'm not going to say the African version because each ethnic group has their own version of it. So this is actually Viagra for men. So the African Viagra. You can call it the African Viagra. That's okay. So what does it do? So it looks like a big ball of clay. Yes, essentially. Okay. So it's a big ball and it has medicine in it, definitely. And the way that it works is you just need half of it. So you just cut it in half and you make a soup and you put like soup bones in the soup and you just make it more like a broth. You're not going to add a bunch of carrots and all that stuff. You want more of a brothy kind of soup consistency. And you need half of this. And you take it over the course of like 3 days or so, and then it will last you for a year. Wow, just half. So not all of that Viagra where people take it and eventually their liver shut down, their organs shut down, and you die. Like Big Pharma has a method, but there's also an indigenous method, and this is, like as he said, the African Viagra. Okay, so I talk about herbs a lot. We talk about black seed oil that cures everything except death, but when it comes to a spiritual sense, it's different. That's a component that a lot of people leave out when it comes to their health. Correct. We conscious as all get out. We hotepping, but when we don't talk about health, we're leaving out a huge component. Also,
it's taken us a while to even know about all of these products because I have so many on the table, y'all.
Right.
Okay? And so it's taken us a while to learn about this, but then when we take all of this away and start talking about the spiritual impact of abortion, spiritual impact of soul ties, as we talked about in the book. Okay? Because right after us talking about this systematic detoxification and the benefits of what's going to happen after you do that, it goes right into divinations. And that being the cornerstone of all African spiritual systems. So it goes hand in hand, and we're missing a huge component. That's a blind spot for us, I think, as a people when we start diagnosing illnesses or even trying to deal with them. So what would you suggest for men? Because we got a lot of men that's sick, not only sick physically, but sick psychologically, spiritually because of trauma.
Wow, that's how much time we got?
Child, let's try to squeeze it in because we're going to do a follow-up. Everybody that wants to do more sessions and have the part 2 of this video, go in the Ancestral Way group. That's the co-ed group, or you can go into the private group with Chief Montana. Okay? So
we don't do anything in tradition without first having a divination. No different than like if you were going to, if an elder were going to prescribe this to you, he or she would actually do a divination first to make sure, not to make sure this is going to work, to make sure that there's nothing spiritually going on with you that needs to be moved out of the way first before you get this, or you may not even need this. Just a simple yara, simple ritual may just resolve your issue. And so that's where you always want to start there first with a divination.
And have you seen in divinations that wives and husbands, they deal with this? What has come up for you?
Yes, couples. I actually divine for couples also, that's one of my favorite things, by the way, is divining for couples, because it gives them insight into who they are in regards to them being a spiritual match. And then you're not going to hide anything from the divination, because all things that are important to you will always come up in the divination, whether you verbalize that or not. Right. Whether you speak into the stone and you whisper or you scream to the heavens, it doesn't matter. It's always going to come up. And so with couples, issues with erectile dysfunction, or there are women who may have low sex drive or something like that, it always comes up in the divination. And so there's always a remedy for that. There's always something to do. Like, for example, for men, and this is what we have to understand. Sometimes, this for women also, we're specifically talking about men. Sometimes you're having issues because you've had a lot of abortions. And then those children are actually clinging to you. And some of those children are sad. Some of them are upset. Yeah. And they're actually blocking you from procreating. And or interfering with your ability to actually sustain or maintain an erection. So that can happen. Because you have them clinging to you, because they only know you as the father. They don't know anybody else as the father, and they only know the mother as the mother.
Now, does that also cause other spiritual impact other than erectile dysfunction? Because there's some people listening to this like, well, I ain't got erectile dysfunction. But you've had abortions, and that also causes an impact to your health, your spiritual health, your emotional health, why you can't find a job, why your relationships can't work, all that type of stuff. So our spiritual life and who we are in our spirit, all of that, like, that's a real thing that we need to make sure is clean and is protected as well. So go ahead with what you were saying.
So, I mean, we need to begin to reevaluate our view of life. Because the only reason people have abortions, I don't care what they say, is because of their value of life. And they have to understand that when you procreate and a woman is pregnant, there's a particular ancestor who's coming. And many times that ancestor has to come, or the ancestor really needs to come. As a matter of fact, I was in class, I was teaching a class last week, and we're creating ancestor shrine. And so I always have the students to look to see what is possibly in their way of creating a shrine, because sometimes your ancestors may say no. Just because you want a shrine doesn't mean you're going to get one. Yeah. And so I always have them to take a look before we create the shrines to see what's in the way. And this woman had a dream, and her ancestors were standing up, and they all turned their backs to her. and then one ancestor stood up and turned and faced her. And her daughter had just had an abortion earlier in the year. And we had told her, I told her, don't have the abortion. This child has to come. Your ancestors are saying this child has to be here. But they didn't adhere to the warning I was giving them. Yeah. And so the daughter had the abortion, and then the daughter turned right back around and got pregnant with months later and had a miscarriage. Wow. So I didn't know about the miscarriage. I didn't know about those things. We were in class. She had the dream. I interpreted the dream for her, and I said, your ancestors are angry because your daughter did not bring that child here. And you're responsible as the mother because you didn't clearly convey to her that the importance of it.
And so you're saying for men that has that impact.
It would essentially have the same impact. And until she atones for that with her ancestors, her daughter will continue to have miscarriages for the rest of her life.
So what does that look like for people that have had abortions? They're like, okay, I've had some. What do I do? Yes, that's the reason why life is not working. The reason why you're sick. It's at the root of it. The spiritual thing. You cannot disconnect the spiritual realm from the physical realm. Okay, so if I need to get this stuff cleansed, I'm a man, I'm a woman, I need to get my divination. Is there rituals I need to do? What I need to drink? What I need to order? That type of thing. So what would be their next steps for somebody that is a man that says, I know I have this stuff going on, also sexual trauma? What would you say is those first steps as far as remedying that?
Divination first. Secondly, after the divination, there'll be a prescription given. And there's definitely a particular ritual that everyone needs to do who's either had a miscarriage, a child died at childbirth, or an abortion to send that child home. It's a very simple ritual. I would actually prescribe that ritual also. And then there's a cleansing ritual that can be done that's specifically geared towards abortions or miscarriages, whatever those things are.
Okay, let me ask you something, because that made me think of a quote. It's actually on the back of the book. It says, Black women are collectively in a dark mass state, carrying generations of grief in their wombs and passing it down to their sons and daughters via spiritual genetics. When we discuss womb cleansing in the practical sense, herbs, roots, and holistic prescriptions are vital in restoring proper female reproductive health. However, when we speak about spiritual womb cleansing, this can only be done by spirit, using African indigenous technology to cleanse and protect the womb. Correct. And same for men. Yes. It's the same. We need to cleanse. They need to cleanse as well. Okay. The rituals to do, because again, I have the male reproductive cleanse here, the king nourishment formula, and I also have the queen nourishment here. This is great for womb cleansing. It's got all these herbs in it, but as the book said, it's a practical sense. This is only going to cleanse you on a practical level. But when it comes to the spiritual level, it can only be done with African indigenous technology. Okay. Yes. And that's what we just laid out. When it comes to back to how to reset your body, because I think it's important for us to stay practical, because we need to get the practical stuff done first. We need to master that. How to reset your body if you're dealing with anything. Let's talk about the dangers of sugar, because we see people that we love so much that's got a situation right now. And if they took sugar out of their diet, what would that look like for them? And how would you do that? Because you eat a fairly extremely healthy diet. Okay. And I harp on this a lot. We doing a sugar fast, a 14-day sugar fast in the womb school. Those of you that have completed however many days you can do on that no sugar fast, you're doing your body a good thing. It's really going to benefit from that, because even if it's just 3 days of no sugar, you'll see the mucus, you'll see the acid, you'll see all those symptoms that you're having and the health issues literally go away. So how could somebody do that? And I know you're going to go into more detail in the men's group, the private men's group. Right. And I hope you're going to do a workshop for the men. Yeah. For those that are interested, he's going to do a free workshop soon in the Warrior School. So if you want to do a free workshop to learn how to reset on a practical level, he's going to go through some real points. We're just giving some brief pointers today, but how would you do that? Resetting your body. I got some going on. I got, erectile dysfunction. I need to lose weight. I'm a man. I know I need to get it together. What I need to do?
Well, you hit the nail on the head, sugar. And what I do, and people notice this when they come to my house, I don't buy snacks. Yeah. So I don't have a bunch of cookies and, a bunch of that stuff sitting around the house, because I have an insatiable sweet tooth. And I know that I will eat it all in one sitting.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit
so
there.
So you don't even bring it in the house?
I don't even bring it in the house.
Okay, so what do you be eating?
What? Okay. So.
I'm talking like black people. What you be eating?
First of all, it's of course alkalining my body.
Uh-huh.
That is the most important thing. And so I eat, I drink smoothies all the time to make sure that whatever I'm putting in the smoothie has a very high pH level. It's full of potassium. So that's what I do first, because that keeps me going. I actually make sure that my colon is cleansed on a regular basis.
You do the psyllium.
Do the psyllium husk.
Psyllium husk is so good. It's accessible. You can get it.
Yep. So this is really easy. And the psyllium husk is more for maintenance. Once you've done like a deep cleansing, once you've done that, I recommend going to see Dr. Levert, because he will do a very thorough analysis, and he will customize a cleansing plan based upon like your everyday habits. And so he wouldn't give the same cleansing plan across the board,
right?
At all. So I would definitely recommend doing that. And just exercising. Exercising
How
is
often do you
vitally
exercise?
important.
Let him know the real deal. He's gonna be modest, okay? This man is really putting a lot of 30-year-olds to shame. He works out like an athlete. He's built like an athlete. So y'all need to really pay attention. This is a 51-year-old man here, okay? So working out is important. This whole, I do it a little bit. If it's not a part of your lifestyle, what the hell are you doing? We got all these guts and stuff out here, and these brothers, they see these beautiful women. Excuse me, women, I'm going to throw it back to you, but I got to get this out of my system. Go ahead. Because you sitting up here looking as good as you looking, and you 51, and these brothers are 21, 31, 41, hazy in the eyes, lethargic, built like sadness and failure, and still hollering about some muscle memory. It's not going to work, fellas, because when our cute asses come trotting out here with abs and looking good, what you think we want on top of us? Certainly not a man that doesn't even have the discipline to get up and move. That sedentary culture, it needs to be expunged. It's a spirit of laziness, and we don't like to talk about fitness. We don't move. Man, it's time to move. This man moves like an athlete. So how often do you work out, and how serious is that for you?
Oh, working out is serious. Like that's my lifestyle, is working out. Fortunately, my father and my uncle had me to start working out when I was 13 with them. So it was easy for me, and it is easy for me to continue to work out even today. So how often? And so I work out about 5 days a week, roughly. And
what type of workouts do you do?
I do boot camps. I'm gonna give a shout out to Effect Fitness.
Effect Fitness.
If you're in the ATL, you need to check out Effect Fitness. It is just a joint.
It is.
So I do boot camp. Maybe I do boot camp maybe once a week, like the 5th day. I'll do a boot camp, and I just do they have what's called small group training. Yeah. You have a personal trainer. You train and work out in small groups. We lift very little weights. It is all like endurance. It's all cardio. It's all like using what's around you to actually build muscle.
And if I wasn't even a person that had a gym, I could do this at the house, y'all. It's no excuses. When you're on my detox program, for the people that do my detox programs, we talk about those 4 components that you're responsible for: water, food, physical fitness, and your emotional well-being. That physical fitness, I say, I don't care. You have to do those 50 crunches and 3 sets of 30-second sprints. I don't care how you do it. I don't care where you live. Make sure you get that shit done. Like sprint, run. You know what I mean? Like we need to find a way. Sometimes we be in the workout and stuff, and he say, find a way, find a way, dig deep, make it happen. But make sure you do it. You can do this in the house. I did it after I had the baby. I kept myself together in the house. Okay, so all of this excuses about a gym membership, you don't have to have a gym membership. No. You can do resistance weights, that he said. You can do push-ups. You can do sit-ups. All of that. I love doing all of those things. Like, I don't have to have weights at all. But again, you can do just your own weight resistance. That is my go-to. But go ahead. You do 5 days a week. 5 days a week. He's 51 years old, putting these 30-something, 40-something-year-olds to shame. And still can run like an athlete. Okay?
And an hour a day.
An hour a day.
45 minutes to an hour. That's it. That's all I put in. And even if you don't have the equipment, to work out is simple. It's very easy. Everybody, well, most people, I'm going to say everybody for the sake of this conversation, has a local high school, a local middle school that has a track. And nowadays, most high schools have rubber tracks. Okay. So there's not a lot of impact, or reduces the impact. This is a simple workout. This is very easy. I ain't got no middle school in my area. I ain't got no
Oh, I hear it, Lord.
Let me give a simple Okay, a simple workout. It's very, very easy. Go to a track, and it's easy because you can measure it. Do 4 400s, 3 300s, 2 200s, and 2 100s. Okay. And go home.
Listen, if you're serious about your health, you'll find a way. You know, let me get back to these herbs for real, about their spiritual health, because they don't even want to do none of that stuff. They got all the trauma in their way. They ain't gonna want to get out of bed. I ain't gonna do that. I can do it another day because they got all this stuff on them. We have some herbs here to the side, and as we were talking about health and reversing disease, STDs are very real, and one of the first rules to naturopathic health, and even indigenous health and healing, is everything is reversible. That's the first thing to understand. If you're going to sign up for a detox program with me, if you've had a diagnosis or something like that, if the mind can accept that the diagnosis can be reversed, there's nothing that the body's going to be able to do, because the mind follows the body. And whatever goes in the mind, that comes from the spirit. So we can talk about the castor oil pack method, the anti-inflammatory diet that everybody needs to have, an alkaline-based diet, a Dr. Sebi diet, all we want. But when it comes to our spiritual health, the impact of all of these sexual partners, soul ties, stuff going on, abortions, and again, the trauma that you were even passed down via spiritual genetics, what to do about that. So here are a few herbs to the side that look like it's real tree bark. How would you use this, and what is this for? And let me hold a piece to the camera. It really looks like a stick. Okay. So what is this for? This herbal combination is actually for herpes. Okay. So this is actually for herpes.
This is for one of my clients.
Yes, herpes.
And there's actually a cure for herpes, so you don't have to live with it.
Lord, y'all better get in touch with us before they take this video down. Talking about it's a cure for herpes. How crazy we look. This is the cure for herpes. I know it sounds crazy, but it's even crazier that they got y'all going to the white coats and they telling y'all that they practicing, but you still go and give them your life. And they told you they practicing. Okay, guinea pigs, but yes, he did just say this for herpes.
Yeah. And so you couldn't, even if you knew this herbal combination, and this is why, like within tradition, they don't really care if you know the herbs, because without doing a ritual and giving the herbs intelligence, so you give them instructions on what you want them to do, and you actually assign these herbs to a particular person. That's why if somebody just had these herbs, you could just give it out to anybody, right? Because you're giving the herbs instructions saying, go to this person, right? A specific person, and so you're assigning it to a specific person, and you're saying, this is what I want you to work on for this person. And then so you boil the herbs and you bathe in them.
And you can bathe in those. Okay. Yes. Now, what are those? This looks like tree bark over here.
And this is for that's for fibroids.
Fibroids.
So you don't have to have surgery for fibroids. You can just use herbs, and these are for a particular.
Now that's different than Queen Nourishment with red raspberry, stinging nettle, and dandelion root. That's a lot different. Okay, this is spiritual herbs, African indigenous technology. Correct. Dare I say?
Correct. Because basically, what you're doing in a nutshell is you're actually giving the herbs instructions, and then you're giving a particular spirit instructions to go and take the herbs and apply them in a certain way. Okay. It's basically what you're doing, and so once you bathe in these herbs. And sometimes you have to drink a little bit of it, but usually you don't. You just have to bathe in it. It's gone. Okay. Yeah.
Everybody, if you want to know more about this, definitely get into the Ancestral Way. That video, or even the link is in this video. The private men's group with Chief Montana. He's going to do a follow-up free men's health workshop very soon. So click the link and get into the Warrior School for the women. As we talked about in the back of the book, womb cleansing is spiritual, honey, just as much as it is physical. So get into the womb school so we can start healing mind, body, and spirit, because it's a big blind spot that we have, even when it comes to conception, when it comes to healing ourselves, and picking our partners in procreation. What would you tell people right now that want to conceive? Because I have a lot of women that come to me that say, I want to get pregnant. What do I need to do? And I'm like, oh, girl, that's a lot. We need to first, I can get you pregnant, but there is a step that's missing. Okay. So when we talk about conception, because there are a couple of things as Africans we need to reevaluate: marriage, procreation, engagement, and village is one of the things that I've laid out in the book. So when it comes to procreation and conception, these women want to get pregnant. What do you tell them?
Make sure that whoever you're going to get pregnant from, your stars are compatible.
Stars? Oh, like horoscopes? Oh, he a Taurus. I'm a Capricorn. It's going to work. So our stars is good. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Oh, that's
what
funny.
Do you mean? Your stars compatible?
It has nothing to do
with astrology. Okay.
Zero.
Let's make that clear. Okay, we don't convolute the two at all.
Right, and don't mix the two because you'll confuse yourself. I promise. So everyone is born with a star. And a star is basically the best definition we have of a star in the West is a guardian angel. But your star is actually about 1,000 times more powerful than our concept of a guardian angel. Okay. And so each person has multiple stars. When I'm talking about your primary star. Your primary stars need to be compatible. Okay. And so there are two spirits that it's like your buddy or your companion that goes with you everywhere. And so the two need to be compatible. If they're not compatible, they'll be at odds with each other. Yeah. And there'll be a conflict, and that trickles down.
Well, what if I had these babies with this man, and I don't know if our star's compatible? He don't know what he's talking about. We good. We can just go get counseling. You would really tell somebody, listen, what?
I would tell someone that, you don't need to be with this person. I would tell them that.
If their stars aren't compatible?
If their stars aren't compatible.
When you do a divination,
when I do a divination, we're doing a divination, I'll tell you, like, your stars aren't compatible. Yeah. However, I'll also look to see whether or not there's something that can be done, like some ritual I can give you to do on your own to actually stop the conflict between the two. They don't have to be compatible, but they can stop arguing. If you totally insist on being with this person, which I would highly recommend not, but if you insist on it, then there's possibly something that can be done. If not, and you still choose to be with them, it's a dead end road, because I promise you it will end.
Y'all got to look at his Sleeping with the Enemy videos. you did Sleeping with the Enemy part 1 and 2. Yep. This is in an ancestral way. So we're going to kind of wrap up shortly. I did have a few of the herbs over here to the side, the Queen Nourishment. It almost, I love, herbs are great, but it doesn't even pale in comparison to the real spiritual stuff. Because, it can do only so much. But yes, I do have King Nourishment for the men, and a male reproductive cleanse. That's also a spiritual, that's a ritual. What is it? Tell us what this is, because it's for men.
This is for men, and this is for men with low sperm count. Okay. And I know all this stuff works. But I know that the low sperm count medicine works for certain, because I had low sperm count. And my elders made this for me, and they sent it to me, and they said, take this for 30 days. I think my sperm count was like less than 20,000. Anybody knows anything about sperm count? If it's less than 20,000, you ain't procreating. You're not going to reproduce nothing. Yeah. And so I took it, they said, take it for 30 days and then go back. I took it for 30 days, went back, and my sperm count was like over 50,000. Yeah. Yeah. And
it works. Okay. Yeah. For people that want the natural form, I love the King Nourishment. You can go to houseofimotep.com, enter promo code RD80. Also, I have a few videos on my YouTube channel too, so go subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the like button too, so you can stay in contact. But the King Nourishment is really good. It's got the maca root, yohimbe bark. We've got saw palmetto, ginseng, wild oat seed. So this is all in one formula. The Queen Nourishment for focusing on your female reproductive health. It's got red raspberry leaf. I'm not going to read all of them because there's so many on the back, but the ones I really like are nettle, red raspberry leaf. I love the black cohosh, and we also have dong quai. So that's all for the female reproductive system. For blood cleanse, if you've got herpes, if you've got HIV, I don't care if it's even diabetes, if you want to keep your blood clean, your blood is everything to your body. This is where the disease is. This is what is affected ultimately. So for people that even have anemia, or people, again, that want to lose weight, have lethargic, all that stuff, go to your blood, cleanse your blood. Let me read a couple of these. It's got the burdock root, the dandelion root, and again, you'll see the nettle leaf, and it's got the red root as well. So this is a liquid. It goes into your bloodstream a lot faster. So you can go to House of Imhotep and get all of those. And all of these are like under $20. These are really under 16. Mm-hmm. How much is your health worth? Like this, I mean, it's just that easy. Like I'm sitting here right now, I want the king nourishment. Let me put some blood cleanse. Boom, bam, stirring it up, and I'm drinking. How fast was that?
That was quick.
That was very quick.
Yeah.
Cleansing my blood, working on parasites. Just like that. So everybody that's serious, the men, we cannot lead. We can't follow you if you're sick.
Yeah, that doesn't work at the end of the day.
We got a lot of sick leaders. I saw it with the pastor syndrome. Mm-hmm. The pastor's always sick. Then we think that that's cute. It's not cute. Mm-hmm. You know, we at war, but again, like them Christians, I roast Christians all the time, talking about, I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm like, you a soldier? I know the Lord. How you gonna be a soldier if you're dead 6 feet under? You can't fight if you're dead, okay? So the same in this war. We can't holler about white supremacy and build these businesses and protect our women and even feed our children and heal our children if we don't know what to heal them with as women and as men, y'all sick. Mm-hmm. Okay? Thank you, brother, for putting the website in the comments. houseofimhotep.com, promo code RD80. In closing, because we're going to have a free men's workshop in the Warrior School. If you have any questions, if you want to get on the detox program, I have a special right now. You can get on my detox program. It's a 7-day detox. 59 is usually 150. Very good for this holiday season. So it's a 7-day holiday detox. So make sure if you want to sign up for that, send me a message. This is going to focus on your water, your food, your physical fitness, your emotional well-being, and getting you to form the habits of being healthy. Okay, because it's nice to think about, I want to get healthy, but how do you do that? A year from now, we need to get from a year to a week, and a week is from 1 day. So with me as your coach, your accountability partner, and having a real system, I like to set people up for success. So that's, if you want to take advantage of that, I'm here for it, and I love it. And you know I have the vegan cooking classes going on. I've got the soup class going on that's coming back with the lentil soup. Everybody that did want to come back for the encore, you can come back for that, because everybody that has made their soup cheap, everybody tell me how good that soup is. A lady that had a cancer diagnosis, everybody that's on a detox, their husbands like the soup. You know, wow, so it's something so easy that we can be doing. So in closing, what do you want to share with the men and getting ourselves together? Because we need to go into 2020 with solutions and not doing the same old thing that don't work.
So the main thing is this, and this is what I've noticed, because I travel back and forth to Africa about 2-3 times a year at least, and I'm a watcher, so I love to observe. And the primary thing I've noticed is that our men have to have something to live for. And when you have something to live for, you're more apt to take care of yourself. And so the main thing as men that we need to understand that we're living for is our families. Because traditionally, the man would be like the keeper of the ancestral shrine. And so that is something that has him be over the entire family, being the keeper of that. You manage and you maintain the entire family, and you have to like live and be healthy in order to do that.
Yes, you do.
And so it gives you something to live for, because it gives you something to do. It puts you back in the place where you're supposed to be, which is the person. When we say, oh, the man is to provide a house, maintain a house, blah blah blah. From a spiritual perspective, the man is also the keeper of the shrine, or the family shrine, or the ancestral shrine. He's the keeper of that. And that is a very high responsibility. Because you literally dictate the direction and the success of your family, not just your nuclear family, but branches of your family that you don't know, or some branches that you do know. Like you're the keeper of all of that, and it is a huge honor to be that. It's a huge responsibility for that, and that's one of the reasons why, in some instances, men are a bit wayward and they're looking for themselves, because most of those men are actually keepers of the shrine. Yeah, and it's an honor to be that. It is a huge honor. So that is something that I think it's not even think I know that's missing, and so that's one of the things that within the Warrior School that I'm committed to bringing forth in the upcoming years.
I'm excited about that. So if you guys have any questions, give them your email address really quick.
So let me give my website first.
Oh yes, please.
Website.
We got website. Sorry.
Go to chiefmontana.com. Yeah. So you can go there and you'll see a list of all of my classes. Matter of fact, I have an ancestral class that's coming up.
Oh my gosh, get in his classes, y'all. A lot of this will make more sense.
Yeah, it will make a lot more sense. I have an ancestral class that starts next week, Wednesday on the 27th. It's a phenomenal class. And you'll see a list of other classes as well.
And that's chiefmontana.com.
chiefmontana.com. And you can actually register for a divination there also. So that's where the great place to start. And there you can go into contacts and you can actually send a message to me directly to contact me if you're not there. You can just send me a direct email at ARC question, QUESTION 0322 at gmail.com. It is ARC question 0322 at gmail.com. You can send me an email there and I'll get it.
And he's also Torrance Alvin on Facebook, so you can inbox him there. But anyway, you need to go to chiefmontana.com to sign up for a divination or ancestral class, and you can join the Ancestral Way group. That's the video. It's right in the video, this link. Every man, black man and woman that's really wanting to do their life right, it's time for us to know how to really do it as Africans. It's even the way Africans need to eat. And that's something we're going to follow up on too. He's going to talk about that in the men's health workshop. And that's also in my book too, the real diet for the African, because we have different molecular structure. We have different nutritional needs, all of that. Okay. So, any last comments before we get out of here? This was good because we got something to do.
I enjoyed it. It was good.
Well, I'm glad that you came on my broadcast because it's been like forever. It's been too long. Okay, so for everybody that does want to follow up with us, I have those two groups. I got the Womb School and the Ancestral Way, and I will talk to all of you guys soon. This is awesome.
Yes, go to my website, register for that class. It's not a conventional class. You're not going to sit and be bored. I love to joke. I love to laugh. I'm always doing that.
He does a ton of classes too.
Yes. We will have you communicate and connect with ancestors who haven't walked this earth in tens of thousands of years. How about that?
Yeah. And he doesn't use crystals or any of that stuff. We don't have to be unked down. No shade to anybody. We're talking about tradition. Okay?
Yeah.
That's all we want to focus on is tradition. So thank you guys for watching, and we will talk to all of you soon.
All right. Bye. Peace.